Find what you would die for, and then live for it. This quote, you could call it, popped up on my Instagram feed because my Instagram feed is goaded. But don't ask me to show it to you because I refuse. Um, and it got me wondering. Right, I want to live for something. I do. I think everyone wants to live for something. Otherwise, you kind of just stay, a dust ball in the winds, just kind of no control of yourself, just being pushed by your surroundings without any real direction or any at least no direction that you set for yourself. You're just kind of going with the flow to the point where you aren't really living. You're just being, I don't know, pushed around by others and by the environment and by whatever the universe has in store for you. So now, you can make an argument for determinism that we're all just, dust balls in the wind anyway. But assuming or just since we can think and seemingly make decisions, let's just treat it as if we can make our own decisions. What do I want to die for? It's honestly not as hard of a question as it may first appear. I mean, like if you ask someone, "What would you die for?" They may be oh sorry, not would. What what will you die for? That's the better question. Because like would is like I don't know. Like what will you die for? Right? At first someone might be taken aback. They'll be like, that's a very strange question. Or like just, huh? Die for? What are you on about? But I think a lot of people might say they would die for their children, right? If they want to grow up and have, or if they're already old, old. If they're already parents and have kids, they probably say I would die for my kids, or I will die for my kids. I will dedicate my life to my kids, or I will die for God in terms of religion. I mean, not everyone, but some. Well, probably many religious folk, right? Uh, I will die to get into heaven. I will die to I mean, yeah. Obviously, there are many different answers. But it got me wondering, what would I die for? Because I am quite the nihilist, right? Which means I don't believe in a particular intrinsic purpose to existence. Of course, I'm open to the fact that open to the fact I'm open to the possibility of there being one, which is why I call myself a hypothetical nihilist. But who cares? What really matters is what do I do then? Right? Like, if you're religious, you can say God, fine, like whatever you're religious, that's kind of like a given. And if you didn't say God, I'd be very surprised. If you didn't say heaven, or even like to get my family into heaven, I'd be very surprised. But if you are not religious, you don't have any strong, like aspirations to start a family and raise a family, right? I mean, like you could say like biologically speaking, our purpose as humans, as animals, as living beings should be to reproduce and create offspring that will be successful in the future. But I think that's ignoring the fact that as a species, we are technically one big family, um, which is interesting, isn't it? Your best friend. Like you could say we're practically family. You could use those words, but technically, if you go far enough, you kind of are family. And if you meet someone who has better genetic potential than you, then maybe you should be prioritizing their children over yours. Um, or I don't know. I mean, selfish gene theory, but like I think we as humans are a bit above that, right? Because we have the ability to think and question our own existence, and like really evaluate other species as well. And I don't know. I find it to be kind of an unconvincing purpose to follow. So what else is there? I don't know, like right now I'm on track to become a software engineer. I mean, I say on track, assuming everything goes well with university and I get jobs and all that. Then my career path right now is software engineering. And I do like programming, so even well into my 80s, I'm sure I'll still be doing something related to it, or whatever fields that like whatever new fields comes about. As like the evolution of programming or the evolution of computer science, or like whatever comes after that, kind of like how I assume many mathematicians might have jumped into computer science when computer science became more of a field, with the rise of technology, computing. But like, what does it mean to say I would die for computer science and I will live for computer science? Like, what does that mean? I will die to be a software engineer. Like, that's not really saying anything. Like, why be a software engineer? Like, you're saying, oh, because I like it. Okay, so you're gonna like, so you like it, but like, then what? Right? Like, you say, oh yeah, I just like it. It's like fine. So you're just gonna chase, I guess, that positive feedback, kind of. Like, I like it. Maybe you're good at it, or even if you're not good at it, if you get like that dopamine from overcoming the challenge, then I guess you would die for dopamine. But like, that sounds very lame. I mean, I say lame. Obviously, if you're getting them dopamine hits, then it's probably not. Doesn't feel lame, but it would be hard for me to sustain. So there's something deeper, right? Something deeper to chase. I mean, I know what my answer is, at least kinda. But I do wonder if most people even really think that deeply about it. Like for me, what I would die in the name of human progress. Now, I mean, that's very vague, obviously. But the reason that I want to be a software engineer slash developer slash whatever is not because I particularly like. I mean, like, yeah, I love. Well, it's a love hate relationship. I love programming, you know, but like really, I love programming because of what it enables me to do systems wise, right? I can design systems and then create systems and like use technology, which is incredible. Like computers are incredible; they can do incredible things, and if you can program them, then you can also do incredible things with them, right? That's why I love programming. Not so much just because it's like I don't know, like I mean I like the art of programming itself as well, like the art of writing good code, writing cool programming languages. So like it's not just a means to an end, but like the art itself is cool because it's helps other people program more easily. Like if we were all still writing in assembly, then programming will not be anywhere near as accessible. And then human, again, progress, human technological advancement would be way behind simply because we cannot use our tools properly. So like when I talk about the art of programming languages or like the art of programming, I think I'm interested in it. Well, I think I'm interested in it because it's relevant. Like it's actually important, you know. Like I don't care about like making a donut in code. Like yeah, it's cool, but like I don't really care to like dedicate my time to that or like like make some like cool art piece and like brain fuck the programming language. Like I don't care for that too much. What I care about is designing things, including languages themselves, in so that they become useful to people and maybe useful to me as well. Although probably not, because like if I mean, I can make tools to help make tools, and I've done that in the past. So yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's why I do software engineering. It's I enjoy it because it's useful, and the product is also useful. If that makes sense. Like for me, it just seems so perfect. Like I could become like a I don't know a I mean, there are many useful things I become. Like I could what? There are many useful things I could become. Like I could study medical science. I could study like what's biotech maybe. Like I could specialize in biotech. I could do astrophysics, and help us like get to the moon and whatnot. Um, but I've settled on computer science just out of interest, I guess. I mean, I guess I feel like it's the one where I can make the most general as well, like the most general impact. Like I can create systems that help biotechnicians or biotech engineers. Is that the job title? I can make software that will help astronauts, get to Mars. Like I could do that. Whereas if I'm like an astrophysicist, then my role is a bit more specific and less transferable per se. Um, so I think this is why I do it because like I don't want to bind what's the word? Trap, suppress, like narrow my potential. Yeah, I don't want to narrow my potential. Basically, want to keep it broad, so I can do many different things. And like even if you do like even just doing computer science as a degree in university, like like that's so vague. Like if you meet someone who does computer science, like the chances of them having the same interests as you are actually quite low, because like they maybe they want to be a software engineer. Yeah, a software engineer. Maybe they want to be a data scientist. Maybe they want to be a cybersecurity analyst or a cybersecurity expert. Maybe they want to be an artificial intelligence researcher, right? AI researcher. Um, and like even like there's not even a guarantee that they know how to program in the first place. They might be purely like theoretical, like maybe they just care about like algorithmic complexity and like the mathematical side of computer science. Maybe they want to do electrical engineering, like computer engineering, like the actual hardware and stuff. And even like within those, like within software engineering, like are you interested in like kernel design, like operating systems? Do you want to do like AI software? You can do that as well. Do you want to do like game development? Falls under software development, but like obviously it's completely different from say I don't know coding. I mean, there are many examples like coding Notepad. Why is that the first example that comes to mind? Web development as well. Like there's so many things you can do under the umbrella of computer science. So like to me, it's like as if you want to do something broad, it's just a no brainer to me to choose computer science because it's so broad. And if you learn to program, like again, like I said, it's a tool, so it overlaps in so many different fields. Well, not so, but like it's a tool that well, not that happens. It does, like it does overlap into pretty much all fields because it's a tool that is so transferable. If you learn one language, you can easily, well, not easily, but like the more languages you learn, the more you can learn other languages. They are constructed, so like there's a grammar to them, there's a logic to them. It's not like doing like for example, something else I'm interested in is linguistics, right? But the reason I don't study linguistics super closely is because it's kind of just a science of studying natural human language. Like that's fine, I guess, but like it's more for like documentation and like research, and like there's useful things from it, that's for sure, and like I'm definitely interested in it. But like just for programming, because you have these logical systems that are built up and you have the chance to improve them. Like you can't fix English. Like you just can't because of the scale of it and like people wouldn't adopt it. But for a programming language, you can improve C. You get C++, and then you can improve C++, and you get Rust, or you can improve C in a different direction, and you get Zig, or you improve C++ in a different direction, and you get Go. Like there's so much you can do, like that's probably I mean, yeah, but not probably. That is the other thing, where like not only is it a broad field, but your ability to make change in that field is massive. It is humongous, massive, 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 and I think that's very cool. So bringing it back to the my point, right? What would you die for? Like, why do I even care about advancing humans, as I say? And also, what I mean, as I say, human progress. What do I mean? I'm very big on learning, right? I think when people think of learning, they kind of take it back to their classroom where they learn maths and learn English, English class and learn I don't know, science stuff, and they had their courses, and they probably did like GCSEs or something like that, MYP, whatever, and then A levels, IB, AP, whatever they did, and then they graduated, and maybe they went to university, maybe they didn't. And then when they think of learning, they think of being in that classroom environment or being in that lecture hall, learning, studying. But most people don't seem to acknowledge that. I mean, like saying it makes perfect sense, but like most people just don't really realize or acknowledge that you learn 24/7. Like the brain doesn't like if you especially if you're someone who thinks that, you're not really interested in things in school. Oh, I'm a bad learner, whatever. Like I've met people like that, and seen it as well, online and also just in person as well. But like surely you have interests. Surely there are things that interest you, right? And you've learned them, right? Like you've delved into them. Like even if all you do all day is play Fortnite. No, not Fortnite. If you play Clash Royale all day, in in day in and day out, all you do is play Fortnite, Clash Royale. Okay, Clash Royale. Like you've still learned the game, and you've probably gotten pretty damn good at it, or maybe you suck. I don't know, but like you still have adopted experience. You still have gained experience just by playing because your brain learns. And like if it wasn't learning, I don't think it'd be interested. Like long term. Like maybe you could do it for like a few years at most, a few years, but like lifelong, you probably just die from like depression, or like you probably become depressed because your brain's just not getting those like whatever dopamine hits were sustaining you in the first place. Um, and then like to get back on feeling good again, you probably need to learn stuff. I mean, like even if you do play Clash Royale and like you claim you don't learn anything playing the game, for example, the game gets updates, so things will change and your brain will be forced to tackle new challenges all the time. Like whatever the case is, maybe it's not like academic, maybe it's not what society sees as useful, but it's learning. And I think that I theorize that humans are attracted to learning. I think we want to learn. And we have something that when we find something we're interested in, we want to learn about it. If you're really interested in football, why do you want to go to watch a football match live? Like, is it just for the thrill, or is it because you can also see it with your own eyes? You can get the first view experience of it, and I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, and there's something else that attracts us. I mean, there obviously is, like again, like excitement, fun, but I think it would get boring after a while if you don't if it doesn't change. Like it's like when we call something interesting, like the English word, we generally attribute it to something that has quite deep things. What am I saying? Has something interesting is something that you can delve deep into and learn a lot from. And like the things you learn will be interesting. Circular definition, but whatever. It would intrigue you. It would itch your curiosity and make you go deeper and deeper. And whoa, look at that! You've now specialized in a field. Is it a useful field? I don't know. Is Clash Royale? Probably not, but you never know as well. Um, so yeah, so learning, right? Learning. I I like learning a lot, and I would die for learning. By which I mean, now when I say humanity, what I really mean is intelligent life, because there could be other intelligent life out there in the universe. We could even find that animals here on Earth are more intelligent than we realize. But for now, since humans are the only ones we know of, I say human. And I'm interested in the um, hmm, humankind's collective knowledge base, right? Their understandings and their thoughts. The things that we've learned, the things that we know, the things that we kind of know, the things that we speculate, the things that we think and theorize, and that maybe one day we'll prove, or we theorize that they are unprovable. We call them unprovable, and we have this huge. I mean, it's not like a physical thing that you can necessarily access, but collectively we have this massive amount of knowledge between us, among us. But because like there are 8.1 billion people. In fact, um, my thing's lagging. Human population eight. No way. There are currently almost okay. It's 8.28 billion people, right? Which is approaching 8.3 now. The last I checked, by the way, it was 8.1. So that's crazy. Almost 8.3 billion people. So like to try even imagine just how much experience and knowledge there is among that is just insane. I mean, if we were to I mean, I don't even need to. Like, if we assume that every person lives for 1 year maximum and then they die, like that's still 8.3 billion years of collective experience lived from 1 year, by the way. And that's just the people alive right now. Like people die every second. People are born every second. I think two people are born every second, like roughly. So like that's even like it's hard to imagine. It's hard to imagine, right? Um, and the greatest thing is when humans come together and they share their knowledge. They share their knowledge. They share their knowledge, their understandings, their thoughts with each other, and then we form a shared knowledge base. And this is the coolest thing, the most important thing to me. Like I literally this knowledge base is so not fundamental, but like it's so important to my sense of purpose because I want to be able to contribute to this bank of human knowledge and understanding, such that we can then advance ourselves. We can progress to find out even more things. Because like really, living in a universe that is seemingly without meaning, right? What do you do? And this was a question that haunted me. I say haunted me for a long time. I mean, it has haunted me for years at this point. I mean, I'm only 19, so there's many years more it can haunt me. But I kind of settled, and this is like fairly recent, like this year. I settled on a what do you call it? A belief, I guess, a worldview, which I call hypothetical nihilism. Maybe there's a better name for it, but it goes such that the universe may, might have no meaning. In fact, I would say the universe probably has no inherent meaning. But the probably is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sentence. Because do you know for certain? Like what, the famous quote, the only thing I know for sure is that I know nothing. Something along those lines, right? So in that case, you can't really call yourself a nihilist unless you 100% just are convinced that there is no inherent meaning to existence. And of course, like, it's a belief system, so you can say it's a belief, not like a knowledge thing, but either way, to commit to something like that isn't very scientific. It's kind of like a leap of faith, right? Um, which doesn't sit well with me anyway. So like before, you might think, oh, saying like, there probably is no meaning of existence, like that's just cope. Like maybe it's cope, but like genuinely in line with my values of discovering knowledge, you know, becoming certain in knowledge, verifying information. Like, why would I say based on those values that I'm pretty damn sure. In fact, not just pretty damn sure. I am honing my belief system on the fact that there is no purpose to our existence. I can't do that. Like, I wouldn't do that. So I'm not going to do that. Instead, I want to say, so far, it seems like there is no evidence that there is. Well, there may be hints, and there are people who have their own ideas. In fact, the fact that we have different ideas of what a purpose could be, and some people are certain that is is already interesting enough to not be so certain in nihilism. But sure, conclusively, we have not found something that we haven't defined the thing collectively as a species. As well, really as a scientific community that we can call, yeah, this for certain is the meaning of life. We haven't quite done that. I mean, we haven't done that full stop. Like it just hasn't happened yet. But just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it won't ever happen. So this is the idea I am holding on to. I mean, I say holding on to, like, but like not really that. It's more just the idea I keep in mind. And to me, the natural thing to do from that belief, from that worldview, is to search for that potential purpose, that it might exist, but we just haven't found it yet. So what you do, you search. You learn. You discover more about the universe. You expand our scientific knowledge of the universe and also of ourselves, because the very way we think is a mystery to us. The very way our brain operates is a mystery to us. Is a mystery to us. We don't even know for sure if our brains are the only things involved in our thoughts. People have this concept of a soul, and although we haven't been able to find strong, if any, evidence of a soul, that doesn't mean it's not there. It may just mean that we haven't it just because we haven't found strong evidence of a soul does not mean that it doesn't exist. It just means that we haven't necessarily, well, that we haven't, yeah, that we haven't. It just means that we haven't necessarily developed the tools to detect it yet. So it's all very interesting. There's a lot to discover. Like humans have come so far in the past, like I mean, I could say I could say like the past 10 years, past 50 years, past 100 years, like whatever whatever metric you go by, like it would apply. But like even just looking at like the last 1,000 years, like our progress is truly exponential. Like the fact that we went from 1,000 years ago, um, I can't even imagine what the living conditions were like, but to go from that to this, like electricity exists now. We can have lights just in our room. I can record a video and transmit it to the internet on a platform called YouTube, which is owned by a company which operates within a capitalist society, because society has managed to literally spread all over, well, over most of the world, because we have countries. I mean, countries existed 1,000 years ago, I think, but like we can communicate with each other almost instantly. If I wanted to, I could stream this right now, but I'm not. I'm recording it as a video that is stored on my computer as what, like ones and zeros or electrical. Like it's just crazy to even begin to to like just look at how much we have progressed. And you know, it's not just progression for the sake of progression. Like we'll find the meaning of life and all things will be solved. It's also good. I would say people are probably happy that we have healthcare, that we are able to create vaccines and fight diseases that would otherwise, kill most people by the age of like 30. Like, yeah, that's pretty nice. I like that my life expectancy is like 80 years or whatever instead of 30. I like the idea of living for at least another 50 years as opposed to 10. It's nice. It's nice. I like that I have the ability to record these videos and share them. I like that we live in a society where I have the time to record these videos and share them. That I have the freedom to record these videos and share them. I'm not being like breathed down by some authoritarian government entity, or I don't know, my family, or like whatever. Like this is nice. And it's only possible because humans researched and we discovered new things. Many things are by accident, but just the act of going out there and trying things ended up resulting in many things just being discovered. So cool. Yeah, it was awesome. We should do more of that, is what I'm thinking. And that is what I'm thinking. Is what I want to do. I want to go out there and find more stuff. Um and I would die for it. I genuinely think I would die for it. Now, question is like like what's the scenario? Like am I tied to like like I don't know, am I standing in front of a pool of lava and it's like, Kojo, if you jump into the lava, then humans will land on Mars. And it's like, what do I do? Do I jump into the lava or do I not jump in the lava? Like, I don't know. Like it's like what you would die for is very vague in of itself, but either way, the main thing, right? Like the quote was, find out what you would die for and then live for it. Right? What does it mean to live for something? Because to me, it sounds like you dedicate your life to it. Like if your name is written in the history books and someone writes like a biography about you after your death, they'll write Kojo dedicated his life to this. He was known for this. He did this. He was truly the most this person of all time. I mean, well, the most, I don't know. But like he was up there, because he dedicated his life to it, you know? That's what I think of when I say to live for. It's a thing you have in the back of your mind every day, whether it's conscious or subconscious, the thing that motivates you ultimately to keep going. And that is what is keeping me going. The the desire to advance humans, right? Intelligent life, to keep discovering new things and to make life nicer. But like why make life nicer? And again, it's because if we live in good conditions, we have more time, more freedom, more resources to keep on researching. So like it's just this thing that can just exponentially get bigger and bigger. And as long as there's a universe out there that we have questions about, you know, then there's more to discover. Like it's not like humans are currently standing at like the edge of the universe and going, damn, maybe there isn't a purpose after all. Like no, like the universe is massive. It's huge. We're like 0.0000000 whatever number of zeros 1% of the universe. And that's like probably only the observable universe, right? So like it's like to say anything is for certain when there's so much out there to discover, whether or not we eventually get the resources and the technology to get there to find these things, but just like like we can at least try because like we don't know if you'll succeed, and it's that uncertainty, right? Like I don't like gambling, just to put it out there, but this isn't really this isn't like hedging your bets because of just how astronomically big the odds are, or even small in some cases. Like because like what makes it so interesting, right? Is like you can roll a six-sided die and say, or like, I don't know, like you could play Russian roulette with six bullets, and it's like, well, okay, have fun with that. But if you are staring at a probability pool that you don't even know how big it is, but you just know that it practically approaches infinity. Like it really just seemed like anything is possible. And there's evidence from history that people have just done random things and we have discovered random things. So it does seem to work to an extent. So why not just try random things? So that's my take. Um, but that's not all because I think there are genuine implications. I don't know if I've talked about this before. Let me check my channel content because I probably have made like a video about this a while ago. I made a video called "I Want to Live." Ah, that's right. I made a video called "The Pursuit of Meaning and Its Implications." I probably said like very similar stuff in that video to this one. But to kind of like summarize my thoughts that I've been having for the past 4 months, I think roughly, it is quite amazing. Maybe it's pure coincidence, or maybe it means something, huh? That humans are different. And not just different biologically. Well, I mean, yeah, different biologically, but also like in terms of the environments we grew up in. Like no one person, no two people are the same. Like even twins who grew up in very similar environments will probably end up being different people with different interests. And because we all have different interests, well, I mean, not all different, but like because we all have our own interests, that if you were to take all our interests and sum them up and our experience in each one, blah, 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 they would be unique to us. It means that we have the greatest opportunity to divide and conquer. Like, again, 8.3 billion people. If if each of one of those people spent 1 second researching something they were interested in, just 1 second, then the humanity would collectively just get 8.3 billion seconds of knowledge just like that. Well, I mean, like that, like 1 second, but like, and then factor in that the fact that people don't even try to do that; they just do that anyway. Your entire life, you're learning stuff, whether or not you share it with others, although that there's a very high probability you do share it with others. Um, then like there's just so much to be learned from ourselves, from each other. So that's why I'm really supportive of initiatives like Wikipedia. I think Wikipedia is great. It definitely has its flaws, and it could be better. But like just the idea of it is so good because it's like a collect. It's the encyclopedia of everything. And if we had something that was like truly the culmination of all human knowledge, that would be quite cool too. That'd be huge, massive even. Um, Beyond massive. It'd be astronomical. Like the amount we could do with that information is crazy. Um, people, people talk about. I mean, not people, but like if you use tech, which you obviously do because you're watching this video. If you use tech, you know that people are concerned about like you would know that people are concerned about privacy, and data. Big companies are stealing our data to profit off of it. Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. They all like do this stuff like advertising and whatever not, and like sell it to other companies so that they can like personalize ads to you without your consent, really necessarily, or like at least with your implicit consent, legally speaking, whatever. It's very whatever, but why is this data so why is it so like is data that profitable? Like simply just knowing people's interests is that profitable? Yeah, because information is so like not only is information valuable from the perspective of someone wanting to learn, but like just because of how much information you can get from people, like it's going to be useful. Like it's just going to be useful, and that's what companies have realized is they've realized that one of the greatest things that they can use that they can collect is just people's data because you can use it to profit because it's just such a useful tool. So anyway, just wanted to yap about that. Um, so thinking about this, right? And by the way, if you've watched this to this point or skipped to this point, whatever, then do let me know in the comment section down below what you think, well, what you would die for, and thus what you would live for. I'm very curious to see what different people think. But for me, if I think of how I can apply this understanding to my own life, like I could definitely, I definitely wish I could get through university faster. Like I'm definitely. I mean, many of us are capable of speedrunning the university. Like realistically, it's not that crazy. Um, like if you're really dedicated to the thing you're learning, you're gonna learn it all the time anyway. Um, and then the sooner you graduate, the sooner you can get into the job market, and the sooner you can do stuff, some really meaningful change. But seemingly, I can't do that right now. So instead, what I can do is use my free time to explore things. And if you look at my channel, I mean, let's have a look together right now. Let's see. My first video in this style was this. My first long stream was March 15. Only like it's actually almost been a month, so good job me. It was called Attempting to Understand Basic Category Theory. My very first video was literally just me trying to understand category theory. And why did I want to do that? Was it because category theory was on my test? No. Like I kind of indirectly found out about it through my university module. But like I was never required to learn it. It was just interesting to me. And it was interesting to me because it's the theory of categories, the theory of categorizing, grouping things and how you can create morphisms, relationships between things. That's awesome. That's really useful. So it's quite fitting, if anything, that that's my first video of this like streak I've got going right now. And then I made this I want to live video because a lot I kind of wanted to get off my chest. Also, I think that was like my sleep deprivation phase, but I'm back. By the way, I'm back in uni now, so I've fixed my sleep schedule for now. Compile time embedding with hashtag include. This was a blog post I wrote because I do want to also share knowledge as well as learn it. I just need to get to the point where I have stuff that's really worth sharing. I've done articles. I've done programming projects. I made this video, the pursuit of meaning and its implications. I looked into Norway's rehabilitation focused prison systems. Why? Because I believe that if we can learn how to improve human behavior, rather than just lock people up and kill them, we can actually like improve them and help them like grow as people, then that would just be better for society. Um, so again, like no surprise there. I did one Terraria video. No, I think I done two Terraria videos, but I only ever did two. I haven't continued it since. I might continue at some point, but like it's just not that fun. Like I've never been a particularly big gamer. Usually when I play games, it's like to learn stuff. But when it comes Jesus, when it comes to grinding, I just lose interest because I don't like the grind. The mindless switch your brain off grind. I want to be learning. Yeah. And I don't think that's a bad thing per se, because it's just life's just more fun that way. And like you can't say it's not useful, right? Because like you're learning, like you are improving your education, you're becoming smarter. Like that's awesome. Um, so yeah, like just playing games like that is kind of just a waste of time. Unless I'm playing with other people, but I historically have not really done that too often anyway. So really, those videos, like the Terraria videos, were more just a way for me to just yap about stuff freely. But like if I want to do that, I'd rather just make a video like this anyway, because then like it's more focused and I feel like that's better. Um, more articles. Works a lot on my calculator. Very happy with that. I will get back to that at some point, but right now I'm just since uni's back up and everything, I kind of get into the flow. In fact, I mean you can see here I was focusing a lot as well on my Zettelkasten. So like here I was working a lot on my Occam calculator and whatnot, but then I got into my Zettelkasten, and you can see that this really has taken up a lot of my time recently because actually I'll talk about my Zettelkasten in a moment because that's very very central to everything. Well, I mean, not central, but like it's a really big tool. I fixed my sleep schedule. Reacted to TV Royale, which was honestly kind of a nothing burger video. I kind of just wanted to capture my thoughts at that time. More like as an archival thing, if anything. Oh, by the way, I do still play Clash Royale, but I don't I actually don't know why I play it. Like obviously it's fun, but I think there's something about just the challenge. I also really like Sudoku, even though like most people think it's like boring as hell. But it's just the puzzle challenge of it that I just really like. I've got to make a Sudoku video at some point because I love that game. Came back from a camping trip, made an error class in C++. This error class thing was something I struggled with for ages. Like error handling in C++ is one of the main reasons I kind of stopped programming in C++ for a while and started looking for other languages like Rust. Rust was great because it obviously had result types, which are a great way of error handling. But then so I was very happy to figure out a system in C++ that was satisfying within the constraints of C++. I was very happy with that video, and I think that might even be okay. No, I made this video too. These three videos then. So I did more C++ stuff. Um, Tagged Union. I wonder what that was for. I guess my parser and then my library. more library stuff. This video wasn't even titled because it was just so like locked in, just programming. Tried out Music Bee because I wanted to experiment with it with an alternative to iTunes because if you get used to using the same software, that's also like annoying in the case of iTunes. Then you don't really try new things. You just get stuck in the same ecosystem. Not nice. I got into football. Like not like a huge fan, but it's been kind of interesting to learn about football because like obviously football is like the biggest thing in the world, literally probably. Um, definitely the number one sport in the world. So it's just interesting interesting to see how it appeals to people, and and it is interesting, even if most of it is boring. Um, if you just watch 90-minute games, you're probably not going to have that much, but excitement. But I mean, but like overall, it's very interesting. And then recently, I looked into language learning because I want to get back into that because language is how we communicate, right? And it's also how you as an individual can communicate with others and access more content. So I think it's clear to see, at least with my explanations, that what I do is actually quite in line with what I've said about learning and trying new things. I mean, I didn't talk about trying new things, but obviously, if you want to learn, you need to get out of your comfort zone because like if you're comfortable, it means you're already experienced with it. Um, and to become a more robust human being, you should really open yourself to new experiences. I think that's one of the best things we can do. Um, and then the Zettelkasten, right? The Zettelkasten is great because it gives me a way to kind of offload what's in here into here, right? And by here, I don't mean you, I mean my computer. So really, I should be pointing here because my computer's like there. Um, why? Because it lets me. Well, really, a Zettelkasten is a thinking tool. So like it's not just a way to like store knowledge. Like really it's a way for me to write down my thoughts, write down things I know, things I think I know, sources I've read, and then use that as a thinking tool to come up with new ideas. So that's why the Zettelkasten is so integral to my learning journey. Or like at least I want it to become integral, central, because it will act as a tool for learning and thinking. Um so yeah, I mean one reason I made this channel. I made this channel a while back. It's just kind of like a shitpost channel. But like, I mean, the reason I repurposed this channel for these like really long videos, even though they're really long and like unedited, and I may or may not one day edit them, we'll see. It's just a way for me to kind of document myself, trying things, learning things, because it's what I want to do. I became really dissatisfied with just doing nothing. I started this during the Easter break because my uni was off for Easter break. And for like a good week or maybe a few days, my sleep immediately just got completely messed up. Um, because I had like literally nothing to do. Like I had no dodgeball to go to, no table tennis, no lectures to go to. My friends were all out of the city. I was staying in my uni city, Liverpool. So it was just really dead, and like it just felt so nothing, you know. So I was like, screw it. I'm just gonna do what I want to do. Like but what you mean? What I want to do with my life, which is to learn and to inspire others to learn, which I am. Well, I'll get to that at some point. But for now, I'm kind of setting myself up. Let's say. Um. So that's why I started posting to this channel because I wanted to just start doing it. Just do it. So we'll see how that goes. I fully intend to keep posting. I mean, I've always liked making videos, so I do wonder why. That's something to reflect on, I guess, as well. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna end it there. It's just man, that quote really hit me when I came up on my feed. Find out what you would die for and then live for it. That's pretty cool. And there was another one actually. By the way, shout out the Flaming Sea. I mean, who is the guy on Instagram? I mean, he literally has 730,000 followers, so I'm sure many people watching this video would know him. But the other quote was, "The longer you stay on the wrong train, the more expensive it is to get home." And to that I say, you know what? Don't worry about getting home. I mean, it's easy for me. It's very easy for me to say because I have not really. I don't really have a home as someone who's moved to like all countries. Like obviously, I've got like where my family lives. But even coming to uni, my family moved to India in the same year. So like that home that I knew, which was in Qatar by the way, is not the same anyway. And they're also moving houses next year. So the home I knew when I visited them last year will also be different. So like my idea of a home is very loose anyway. But if you take the wrong train and you're worried about getting home, then you're gonna stay home. You're gonna be scared to go home, and think really hard about like taking the right path. But if you don't worry about getting home, if you bring home with you wherever you go, then you don't have to worry so much. You can be more free. You can try things and make mistakes, and then just continue. Not continue making the same mistakes, but like you can learn from them and then change your direction. Not like backtrack all the way back home, but just I made a mistake. Let's go this way, or let's go this way. You know? I mean, it's an analogy anyway, but if I were to expand the analogy further, in my own opinion of what I think we should do with that, then yeah. Anyway, very cool, very cool. Thanks for slopping by.